Hello and welcome to the show, everyone. I am having a guest tonight, Dave Wheeler. I'm going to unmute him here in just a second. I met Dave on another platform where we were actually both reading. We were readers in a little it's a little subreddit on Reddit. And I was just always so intrigued with his energy, and I loved the things that he would share. I was really impressed by the information that he was passing along. And I know he does divination. I'm not going to say a whole lot about him just yet because I want you guys to hear what he has to say. So I'm going to bring him on in just a second. If you do want to call in for a reading, you can do that. The phone number is 631-353-4342, and you enter show 720 as the show number. If you guys are in chat, you can do that, and I'll unmute you when the time comes. So I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. I'm excited to have Dave on. He's you guys are really going to love his energy. He's really fantastic. Before we get started, I do want to say a couple things. Next week I'm going to have Kathleen Moore on, and then I also have some other things scheduled. I have some real surprises scheduled to have some people on that I'm really thrilled about. One of them is a dear friend of mine. Her name's Rhonda. I have not confirmed a date with her yet, but we are going to be talking about balancing the elements inside all of us. So I'm really excited about that one. I think it'll be an outstanding show. And then, like I said, Kathleen Moore, you guys probably know her from being on Chris Time's show, the Curious Time show, right here on IntuiTalks. Kathleen is going to be talking about crystals and reading with crystals and how to work with crystals. And I actually have a whole smorgasbord of questions for her. So we're going to do a question and answer session, and then afterwards we'll be doing readings together. So that'll be fun. If you don't know about IntuiTalks.com, I want to take the opportunity to mention that to you guys. This is the platform that we're airing on right now, so I'm not sure how you're listening to it because it goes all over the place. I know it goes to tons of different platforms. But we're on IntuiTalks.com, and if you're here or you're visiting, there's lots of different shows and speakers and all kinds of cool podcasts that are on this show. I know Curious Times is one of the regular people. Right after this show at 10 p.m., she's going to have Barbara DeLong on. And if you don't know Barbara DeLong, she's a really cool lady. I actually just read her upcoming forecast for August, so that's going to be fun. So she'll be on. And then, of course, she's got her regulars like Selva Dutton that'll be on, and Hillary Black and some other people. So just keep your eyes open. Angel Meadows is having a show coming up on August 5th. There's lots of stuff happening. So, and if you want to be a part of this network, if you want to be on, have your own podcast, or maybe you even want to just have your own spiritual website, you can do that through IntuiTalks, which has been an amazingly welcoming community to me. Jenny Satori, she's the owner of IntuiTalks and an incredible woman. She does so much for all of us in the community, not just here on IntuiTalks, but everywhere. She's got a heart of gold. So if you want to be a part of something that's growing and becoming the network of networks for spirituality, in my personal opinion, this would be the place to do it. Also, I'm not getting paid to do this, but I always like to also mention purpleplates.com. So if you don't know about purpleplates.com, check it out. I love the purple plates. It's one of the most healing, clearing things that I have in my home. I have them stuck all over my house. They're in my refrigerator. They're under my cat food. They're just everywhere. They just help so much. So if you want to know more about that, you can go to purpleplates.com and check that out. So I'm going to bring Dave on. Hey, maybe. Let me unmute him.
Okay.
Unmute.
Hello.
Oh, can you hear me okay? Sorry, I kept muting you and then unmuting you.
That's okay. It's totally fine.
So, Mr. Dave Wheeler, I'm so excited to have you on. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing really well. This is a first for me to do like an actual show talking about tarot and psychics and spiritual world, so I'm pretty excited.
Well, before we get too far into it, and I'm probably going to ask you a couple times, if how can people people get in touch with you, Dave? Say they want a tarot reading from you. I know you do like YouTube, don't you?
Yeah, I do some stuff on YouTube. I have a Facebook page. If you search Psychic Medium Dave Wheeler. Also if you look on Reddit, I'm part of a lot of the psychic boards on Reddit and whatnot too. Just search Dave Wheeler and you usually find that there. So yeah, I'm pretty much on all platforms.
I know you kind of have to be these days because there's so many of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And every day there's something new, so you never know.
And you're not any kind of newcomer to podcasting and radio, are you?
Nope. What I do full time here in upstate New York is I program 5 different radio stations. I'm what's called an operations manager. So I do programming for our radio stations. I actually go on air as a DJ. I do commercial production. I do a lot of the behind the scenes work. I do a lot of stuff. Our company's really big about blogging and doing stuff online. So I'm constantly on the computer and on Facebook and getting people to interact with our brand. So it's a lot of fun.
That is. It sounds fun. Well, I mean, I enjoy doing this little show, and I just do that once a week sometimes. So I have a good time with it. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Dave. How did you get into all of this tarot stuff?
Yeah, it's like I kind of fell into this world. I mean, I would say growing up, I felt like we lived in my sisters always claimed they lived in a haunted house, but it seemed like nothing ever bothered me at this place. And I remember reading something on the computer when I was really young about, white light. And if you're ever feeling nervous, imagine this white light around you. So anytime I felt scared in this house, I always did that. Later in life, learning that's a protection method with meditation and stuff. But I would say I really started to get really involved in the psychic world when I was probably in high school. I started reading a lot on like James Von Prague and different psychics and mediums and stuff, and kind of like loved their stories and loved that they were very open about anybody can do this. Anybody can open themselves up spiritually. It's not like you have to have this gift, you're only born with it. Anybody, if you put the time and effort into practicing and learning how to do it, you can open yourself up spiritually. So I really was intrigued by that. And then with my job, we partnered up with a paranormal group. And one of the guys who runs it, his name is Phil Creighton, and they run the New York Shadow Chasers. So we started paranormal investigations with them. And actually, I work with Phil now. He works full time in our building. But his wife was a psychic, and she kind of laid some groundwork down to train myself. And it's funny, like in my job, the more people in our building are so spiritually involved. One of our sales managers who really taught me tarot, I give her all the credit for kind of getting me really interested in it. Her name's Paige. She literally has, a witch's room in her office. She has always a deck of cards. She always has crystals in there. But it's nice that I'm surrounded by all these people. So just kind of came about and practiced and kept pushing myself and, trying to do some readings on all sorts of people online and then doing readings in person. And then I kind of got my wife interested in it. She does some stuff. She doesn't do it like full time or anything like that or does anything online, but she loves to do tarot with me at least. She loves to try to read me occasionally. So it's a lot of fun.
I love that. I do. I think it's important to get the people that that you share things with involved with stuff like that. Not just for support, I think, but I don't know about you, but with my own wife, she and I do stuff together a lot. And I think energetically we sort of feed off of each other in that way. So it kind of helps, it helps clear the air if that's what we're trying to do, or if we're doing a reading or whatever. I find it fascinating how energy sort of melts within other things, especially like on podcasts and radios. I've noticed when I'm doing readings with other people like yourself, we just sort of bounce off of each other. I just think that's so fascinating. I love that.
Yeah, and it's definitely nice in our environment. We're so creative too, so having people that have that ability to tap into that energy is always really great for what we do day to day.
Right. And I also found it really interesting because I've met you, I didn't really meet you, but I know you through Reddit. So we were on a small subreddit there doing readings for a little while. And I always felt just so interested in your energy, but in the way that you read, it really carried a lot of confidence, and it felt like it was really from the heart. And my favorite thing about you was you weren't scared to try something new. So a lot of times I would see people asking questions about something in particular, whether it was something in their past life or something going on with their pet, and you would give it a shot. And I loved that. And 9 times out of 10, you really nailed it. The feedback that came through was amazing on that stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what's important about this for anyone that tries to get involved in it is, yeah, you're going to have hiccups, you're going to have mistakes, but don't be so paranoid and let those mistakes get in the way of you. Keep trying it and keep pushing yourself. And also, I think everyone does things differently. Like the way you do tarot is probably completely different than how I do tarot, and it's different from how this person does tarot. It's like everyone has their own style and unique blend to bring to the table. So that's what makes it really interesting and fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So is tarot your form of divination? Do you do anything else? I think it was you talking about at one point pendulums. Was that you, maybe?
I got into that a little bit. I probably don't do those as much anymore, but I definitely do a whole handful of things. I do some past life readings. I try to do some spiritual readings and, connect to different spirits for people. Do tarot. I do all sorts of things. The only thing I don't know is like star charts, and I love space and astronomy and stuff, so it kind of puzzles. I haven't got into that as much more, but that's the only thing I really think I haven't tried yet.
Yeah, I know. I did this. I guess I was watching some of these people and some of these doing these astrology readings, and it's amazing. There's so much information. So, and then you do. Somebody in the chat room is asking about animal communication. You do some things like that too. Is that correct?
I've tried it a few times. I know on like some of the posts and on some of the boards on Reddit and stuff, people have asked about pets, and I was able to try to pick up on it. So I have given it a shot before. So, and if anything I can do to help somebody, I try.
Yeah, and that's what I loved about seeing and working with you is you weren't scared, and the ability for you to connect with these in these varying different ways was really incredible also. And I think one of your biggest gifts, in my personal opinion, Dave, was watching you. You have the comfort about you where you're able to really identify things, whether it was in somebody's pets or whether it was with somebody as a person or anything like that, and really just being able to connect with them and give them hope and comfort. I loved that. It was not that you weren't willing to tell them the truth, obviously, because nobody wants to give bad news, but sometimes that's what comes through. Is there anything before we get started with the readings? And I did put that this show would last an hour and a half. I don't know if we're going to go that long, but I wanted to kind of give room because I wasn't sure how long we were going to talk for. But is there anything, do you need specific questions, or are you wanting to focus only on tarot? Do you want to do mediumship? Are you open to anything? It's up to you.
I'm open to anything. I mean, I have my deck next to me, and if anyone wants to try anything else, I'm totally open to it and give it a shot.
Okay, great. So before we get into the readings, again, you said that you can be found on Facebook, Psychic Medium Dave Wheeler. I know you said you were also on YouTube. I've seen you on Twitter, so you are everywhere. We'll just look you up, Psychic Medium Dave Wheeler. If anybody wants to connect with Dave or get an in-depth reading with him, you can do so. Or if you just want to connect with him and kind of see some of the work he does, he's hilarious. Your Facebook is always cracking me up. The stuff that you're posting is always so funny. And I like humor. I think it's like, yeah, it's like one of the most, to me, one of the most solid ways to work with energy is through laughter. And I love it. We do have a couple of callers. I've got a couple of people listed. So, and if anybody else wants to call in from the chat room, you can do that. I think I posted the phone number in the chat room somewhere. Let me see. I should know my own radio number by heart, and I don't. It's so embarrassing.
Right. I don't even know my own studio request line. I have to look at the paper every day, and I'm like, I've worked at this station for 5 years now, so.
I something with numbers in me. I don't know. But if you want to call in, the phone number is 631-353-4342, and you'll enter show 700 and then the number 20. So 70020 as the show number, and I'll get you on the call list. Thank you, Renee. Renee posted in there. So to Karen, thank you. Everybody knew it before I did. Okay, and we do have, I don't know what that is. We do have a couple of callers. So, okay, they're talking about purple plates in the chat room. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we do have a couple callers that I have listed. And Dave, if you're ready, we can get started. I'll start unmuting people.
Yeah, let's make it happen. Let's do it.
Okay, so what we'll do, guys, is I'll start with the 402 because that's who's first in line, and then I always allow the guest to go first because they're the guest, and you can ask what you want, and then we'll see what Dave picks up, and then if when he's done, I'll try to see if I can pick anything up also, so you get like a twofer.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So we're going to start. Got a couple more callers calling in. Let me get these numbers in order because if I don't, then I'll get everybody mixed up. I'm doing my own whatever you call it when I have to man the studio and the chat room at the same time, and I'm just not really good at multitasking. All right, so we're going to start with area code 402.
Hi.
Hello.
Call. This is Diana.
Hi, Diana. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I've not been able to get in on your show before, so I'm not exactly sure how you work. If you just pull a card or read my energy, what do you want to do, or if you like a question?
Well, we'll start with Dave, and yeah, you can ask a question. I don't typically do. I try to do tarot. That's not my jam, but I'll do energy readings with you after. Dave pulls cards for you if that's what you're wanting. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and ask.
Okay. Well, I'm just looking at what you might see in terms of me. I've been working for a while now on making some positive changes in my life, and whatever comes up, whether it's health or a move, career, I don't really care. I'm just focusing on multiple changes at one time. So whatever comes up, I'm happy with.
So I actually just drew 3 cards while you were talking. So the first one, the deck I use is called an Oceanic Tarot deck, and they don't sponsor me or anything, but I think it's the best tarot deck. It's so colorful. They have such amazing pictures. And what I do for tarot too, because I haven't explained how I read, I don't read like traditional, like I draw cards and whatnot. I literally will shuffle my deck and I will draw cards at random, or I'll draw them from the top. This time I felt like Spirit told me to draw them from the top, and I really believe the 3 cards I pulled apply to you. So the first one was an Ace of Wands, and on the bottom there's some words on some of these cards too, and it says growth. So you did mention that you've been doing positive changes, you've been trying to push yourself with your career. The second card I have is called the Vortex with Temptation. So I'm curious if coming up here maybe in the next 2 to 3 months, maybe you'll see maybe a different offer from an outside company, and you'll be tempted maybe to leave possibly. So, keep in mind some of these decisions will come down the line. Maybe some of these offers might have more money. Maybe they have a better vacation package. Maybe they have a better healthcare package. But, look at all of the options before you decide on something, because the last card I drew, it says the Fool, but, I'm not saying you're a fool, but the bottom of it says New Beginning. So I'm curious if maybe what this is showing is one of these offers, maybe not the first offer you get, don't jump on, really focus on a few of these offers and then maybe dive in, look and see if that will be a better route for you.
Okay. So use discernment then on the offers.
I'm sorry?
Kind of use discernment on the offers then with the Fool card?
Yep, I would say just be cautious. Like maybe you'll get something right away. Like maybe tomorrow you could walk in and probably get something from maybe a different offer from a different friend or a different company or something. But I would be very cautious about taking the first offer. Maybe wait and look at all the different options before diving into something completely new. But I think I do see maybe you are going to be doing something new, but I would be very cautious about picking the first thing that comes up.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Hey, Diana.
Yes.
So don't hang up yet, because I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what I saw. So, and I really want to validate with what Dave was talking about about you know, I know you said you're going through a lot of changes as well, but with this new job or this new something's about to end for you, and there's a big change coming for you. And I also really felt like it was a lot cooler around me, the air, so I really did feel like this was going to be like maybe late fall that this started happening. But I feel like there's going to be somebody from the past that's even going to be contacting you, or where you're going to be working. There's going to be some connection with where you may have had a job or a career connection with somebody before, and it was pretty strong when it came through. So I wanted to catch you before you hung up to tell you that.
Okay, thank you.
And,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and you said you haven't called in before?
I have, but you've just been really busy. Apparently I didn't call soon enough. I didn't get in.
Oh, okay. Well, I really appreciate you calling and listening. It's been interesting trying to figure out how to catch up. I'm sure a lot of it may have been even user error, because so many people will call in and then I can't I lose track of people. So thank you so much for being patient. It was really nice to meet you.
Oh, you bet. Thank you both. I appreciate your help. Great to meet you both.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, that was nice. That was she had really pretty energy too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. It's my favorite thing about doing readings is seeing how fabulous everybody looks clairvoyantly. They're just, I wish people really did look like that. You know, when walk around, everybody could see it. Okay, 805. Are you there?
I am here. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
So
what I'm looking for is maybe some mediumship, and if anything's not coming in, then I don't know, pull a couple of cards for future or whatever you get in that regard. Thank you.
Okay, well, what was your name once again?
Renee.
Renee, okay, perfect. I'm seeing, looks like an older woman, maybe late 50s to mid 60 range, kind of short, long, white hair, kind of curly a little bit. Does that make any sense?
Yes, the age is not right, but that description is perfect of someone. Mm-hmm.
Well, at least I nailed the description. I got that going for me. The age, maybe not so much.
That's so relative, too. It's hard to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I feel like, I wanted to say aunt, but I want to say almost sister. Does that make any sense?
No.
No, I guess not. Let's see. Let me focus and not just jump to the first thing I think of. I definitely feel it's a strong female connection, maybe a mother possibly, or a mother figure. I keep getting mother.
It's a mother. You're right. And she's short.
Is there anyone involved with her named Joe? Does that make any sense?
There was. Joe is alive, and she kind of thought of him as a son.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a connection, yes.
But she kept saying, visit Joe. I don't know if she meant that she visits Joe or that you visit Joe, but she was very gung-ho about mentioning Joe. It was like instant I had that name. I'm like, okay, maybe there was a strong connection there.
He's been kind of key in these last couple of months. So I have been talking to Joe about financial things, so to do with her. So it would make sense that she would bring that up.
Interesting. So the next thing, maybe it goes along the lines of what you're saying, and I don't want you to think, because you gave me this information, I'm going more with it, but I keep feeling like trust Joe is what she's saying right now. Trust Joe. Maybe you've had some questions about maybe some of the decisions or something, or some of the things he's suggesting, but I keep getting trust Joe. He knows what he's doing. He's keeping you on the right path and helping. So I would say keep with Joe.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Let's see. Now she's telling me to pull a card, maybe because she wants me to have some fun with you. I picked one that says success, and it's a 6 of Wands, and it looks like the way I'm looking at this card is keep doing what you're doing, keep going down the path with him, and some of these decisions will pan out the right way. Maybe there's been some rough patches here or there, but I definitely keep getting trust Joe. So I would say just keep working with this person and have them help you as much as possible.
Okay.
Hi, Renee. How are you?
I'm fine.
I immediately, and I've seen her before, but I always get the symbol for the little fish called Wanda. When I was a little kid, I saw the front. I was in Blockbuster, I think, and I saw the front of the movie for the fish called Wanda. It had this big angelfish on it, and I think that's where that image comes from. So I know there's a connection there, but I want to talk to you also that she was pushing a lot of energy around me, and she's talking about September and not just about specific events that you're aware of that are happening in September, but a lot of things, especially towards the end, that are going to be affecting inside of the home, and relationships with some people outside of your immediate family are also going to be coming into connection around that time. And really, even in October, I'm having a hard time catching my breath. So she's so she talks so fast too when she's going. So sometimes it's hard to, but and then she's grabbing your face and she's rubbing on your cheek. So she is sending you love and wants you to know that she loves you a great deal. But I think that there's going to be a big turning point for you with some things involved in the work stuff in October also. So I feel like September, October are going to be months of a lot of change. There's so much wind even that I can't hardly hear because that's how fast things are moving around that time. So, and usually when I get a real strong connection in there, right around it, my solar plexus starts to shake real hard. And when spirit gets especially close to me, and that's what's happening. So I think it's sort of, and she's showing me for you to hang on. That's what she's saying, hang on. So
I know exactly what that means.
Okay. So that's what I got for you, Renee. Thank you so much for calling in.
My goodness, you guys. Dave, thank you so much. And Shelby, that was perfect. And I saw my mom come in and I thought, I got to ask about that. So there she is.
And she's so cute too. She is. But when I saw her, I saw her at that same age that Dave did. And it's the same age, around the same age that I saw her.
Yeah. And she just never really aged till she got like 75, and then she started looking old. But before that, she always had dark hair, but then she let her hair go gray, and she started to look older. So that's cute, though. It's adorable.
She's talking about her skin, how she keeps rubbing on her skin, too. So I don't know if that's why she came to us in that way, so we could look at it in that way, but she's a trip.
She did love her skin, So. Okay, you guys, good job. Thank you so much.
Okay, love you so much. Thank you for calling.
Okay, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, I got, let's see, two more. And I have two anonymous callers, and I don't know which one called first, so I'm going to unmute the first one. Hello, are you there?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Can hear you. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Martin.
Okay. I'm not Martin. What are you talking about?
You sound just like...
I am Martin.
I was like, wait a second. Is there another Dane calling my show? Come on. Martin is a fellow Redditor, Dave.
Oh, cool.
I know, it's like a big party it's a Reddit party tonight.
What's all about?
You sounded too awesome, Dave. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I wanted to say hi to you, Shelby.
Hi, Martin. It's always good to hear you. You always melt my heart every time I see you or hear from you. I love you so much.
I always smile whenever I hear your voice, Shelby.
Oh, well, see, now I'm all sweaty and smiley, but you can't see that because the camera's off.
Yeah, that's sad. But
would you like a reading tonight, Martin?
I don't really need it, I think, but if you want to, you can do it.
Well, of course we do.
Okay, well, then go for it.
Hey, do you have a question for Dave?
Not really, no.
Well, let's see what I can pull up.
Yeah, I'm a bit goofy, Jenny. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You got great energy. Let's see, my man. Let's see what we can pull up here.
I'm from Denmark, Christy Who.
Oh, perfect.
It's we have a drought here, so it's very warm.
So I saw you in the your post about being in the water not too long ago. Then you showed me the picture of what the drought looked like, and it was awful. It was just complete destruction of so much of your landscape around there. It's terrible.
It's Mad Max Denmark.
Yeah.
So the three cards I just pulled for you, I have the Queen of the Ocean that has abundance as the message, but I'm looking at the card itself because I feel like what she's holding in her hands is standing out to me the most. She's like
what is the card called?
It's called the Queen of the Ocean, and there's like messages on each card. Sometimes it refers to the reading, sometimes it doesn't. The word says abundance on it, but the thing that's really drawing me to this card is what she's holding in her hand. And she's holding like a staff with a crystal. It's got a bright light on it. So I'm wondering if the message on this one, kind of going with the other ones too that I pulled, is the next few months I think things are going to pick up for you in the right way, the right light. I feel like the next card I have is one that says Seven of Wands with endurance. So I feel like you probably have been dealing with a lot of things lately, maybe from work, maybe from family, everything going on.
You're quite right. I'm starting on the testing how much I can handle. I have a mental illness, and they're testing how much I can handle in a work environment. So they'll slowly pick up. So you're quite right about that. Yes.
And I wonder if this one kind of referred to you too. I picked one up, and then I kind of set it down. I was like, well, maybe I will mention it. The word said anxiety on it, and it was kind of like the same of juggling everything. And you know,
I have generalized anxiety disorder, so my anxiety is probably on a much higher scale than most people.
Oh, I can imagine. But I think things are going to pick up for you. I think you'll see that you're able to juggle some of these things going on here in the next few weeks. And the last card I had is kind of I think and this one goes to it even more too. Is it's the Ten of Pentacles, and it says luck, but the way the cards are, again, the artwork is so beautiful. That's what draws me to these readings when I do them, is I look for what stands out most. And the center of it is empty. It's surrounded by, you know, the different coins on the card, but there's a picture of a turtle in the middle of it, and I just think that, you know, what it means to me is I think you're gonna find something to help you go through all this. The luck, it's not like, oh, hey, I found it, it's lucky. I think you're gonna pick up on this. Things are going to pan out for you the next few weeks very well for you. So just kind of like a rough patch.
I hope so. Thank you for that.
Hang on.
That gives me some hope.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that.
And I second what Dave said too. It's real easy reading behind Dave because I can just be like, yeah, what he said. but I do tend to agree with him too. And I think there is a little bit of difficulty. What he was talking about, a little difficulty with some of the transition through some of the things that you're going with, but not because it's challenging. I really think it's your own fears and stuff that are going to kind of come into play with it. And it is going to cause some disruption in your energy, Martin, but I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to put you out to where you're not able to pursue and continue to go forward, especially by the time I really push your energy out by the end of the year. I've never seen this before, but I can clearly see a well-defined balance coming in. Energetically speaking. So when I look at your energy, I can usually see, you know, what I would call the polarized parts of your energy, and I can see a very clear and straight line right through the middle of it. The only thing that I would tell you is that when things do start to get a little bumpy or whatever, try to just back off just a little bit and not all the way, because I think there's a part of there's a hummingbird right outside my window. How cute! Sorry, yeah, look a squirrel. Try to keep yourself from pulling the plug completely. and just sort of bailing out if you can, just sort of back off of a little bit. I want to say that some of the stuff that comes through, but you're so clearly and mentally focused on the challenges with what you're doing, and you're so freaking smart, Martin. I don't have any doubt in my mind that you have the ability to work the problems out. But it is, I do see a flare up with some of the anxiety also. So, yep, that's what I got for you, Martin.
Oh. Many thanks.
It was good to talk to you all the way from Denmark. What time is it there?
It's good to talk to you too. It's nearly 2 a.m.
Oh, it's time for bed.
Yes, very soon.
Okay, Martin, thank you so much for calling in.
My pleasure.
Have a good night.
Bye. Oops, I cut you off. Sorry. All right, I'm gonna take the next anonymous caller, and then we'll get to some more of these area codes. I'm doing that because I don't know which one of them called first. Hello.
Hi, Shelby. Hi,
Karine. Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. It's so good to hear these excellent readings. You guys are both doing fantastic as usual, Shelby.
Thank you.
So I don't really have a specific question for Dave. I just kind of wanted to see what he was picking up, if anything.
Sure, let me see. It wasn't a draw card, but I feel like I'm being told to try to see a spirit here. So give me 1 second and I can pick up on it.
Thank you.
I was literally half shuffling my deck and I stopped and I'm like, okay, let's try this. I'm picking up on a male. He seems like he's a little bit bigger on, like, you know, he's got the big cheeks, he's happy, he's got kind of a shorter hair, he's got some gray in it, but kind of light brown with gray. I'm seeing like kind of like plaid clothing. He's sitting down, got a cane with him also, big smile though, big happy smile, big teeth, and I want to say, I don't know if it's grandfather or something along those lines. Does that make any sense?
I don't know, but like I always say, how can we possibly remember all the dead people in our lives, you know?
Exactly. Well, and also the setting he's at is kind of interesting. I see it like, I don't know if this is a significant setting for you by any means, but it's like a diner kind of, like an not like a super old-fashioned diner from like the 50s or something, but like maybe more of something from like the 70s and 80s. The decor looks like that. And that's the thing too, when I pick up on spirit, I'll pick up on weird settings that they're at too. So I'm seeing like kind of like torn up red stool, like a seat at this diner, kind of low lighting in it. But he's at some sort of booth and just has a big happy smile, almost like this could have been a family gathering place possibly.
Huh. I don't know, Dave. Like I said, I mean, you know, there's so many dead people. I don't know. Like, I have to think about that, you know?
Yeah, definitely write it down, because it seems something pretty significant. I don't know why. Maybe from early childhood, or could have been something for your parents possibly or something, but it just came through so clear. And just the whole setting in the background, too. It's like a big diner. It's very interesting looking, that's for sure. So let me try to pick a card for you, since I didn't nail that one. See what I can get for you on the card. So I drew 3 for you as well. And the first one was the Four of Wands, excuse me, and it has the word reward on it. And it seems like the way they're positioned, that you're kind of maybe going through a tough spot with a certain relationship right now, whether it's a friend or a coworker or maybe a spouse or something. So it seems like there's kind of a lot of things going on. And the next one says abandonment, which I don't think that means completely abandon this person or the situation, but I think kind of stay focused on what the main thing is in the relationship that you're looking for. And if you're not getting kindness or love and care, then, maybe you don't need that person in your life too much more. Because that was the last card, was the Queen of Pentacles, and it has kindness. But the way the mermaid is positioned on the rock, and she's kind of looking deep in thought, like, well, this is what she's looking like in the cartoon here. It's she's sitting there like, well, I kind of don't need these people in my life type of thing, because there's other fish and stuff around her that aren't near her. And I feel like it's kind of like standing up on your own. So in some of this tough situation, I feel like, don't be afraid to hold your own. And if these people are being sour to you, don't be afraid to let them go.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't know if that made any sense, but.
Yeah.
Hey, Corrine, how are you?
I'm okay, Shelby.
I saw your father was the first thing that came through, and he's talking about a delay coming up for something you're supposed to be receiving. So that was the message that I got for you, and I didn't want to go into too much detail because we can talk about some of that later.
Okay, so a delay in what?
There's a delay in something that you're supposed to be receiving. So it feels almost like you get left out in the cold and you're not receiving something that you're supposed to. And that's what he's talking about. And when Dave was talking, I think he said, with the mail or whatever around, that's the first person that I picked up. And he's, I don't know if he wore a certain, I don't know, it's like aftershave or soap or soapy or something like that, but it's real strong. So, and it's real strong around you. So, and of course I always see him when I see him, he's got a huge smile on his face with the big cheeks, the big teeth. I mean, all of it. And he's just circling around you right now. So, and usually when I see that, it's about changes that are coming up for you. So I don't know if you're expecting something towards the end of the year, or you're expecting to receive something towards the end of the year, but it looks like there's a delay in whatever it is that's about to happen. And again, he's saying the fight's not over, is what he's saying. So I don't know if that resonates with you, but that's what I got for you.
Okay. Well, no, it makes sense to me. I mean, I feel like I've been on delay for 10 years now, but anyway.
Well, and I don't think that you're going to be on that delay much longer. And by much longer, I mean, I could say that it could mean like a year or two, but I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be, and whenever it does shift and whatever's supposed to come through comes through, I do feel like it leans in towards you. So I do feel like it falls into your favor. But I do see it being pushed off a little bit longer. I see paperwork, like a shitload of paperwork everywhere, and there's just paper everywhere. So I don't know if you're going to be inundated with having to fill out forms or what that is all about. But I mean, there's lots of it. I mean, I can see them float. It's like they're floating all over the place. So I'm trying to see what's on them, and I can't. I see a watermark. It looks like I want to say it's some kind, I don't know, watermark of some kind, but I can't focus in on what the name is on top of the letterhead. It's professional, whatever it is, but it's all over. I mean, there's tons and tons of paper floating around, sitting on desks. I see them piled up all around you. So I'm not real sure what that. I don't know if it's trying to get through some more paperwork. That's the delay. I don't know if there's more paperwork needed. I don't know what that's about, but it's pretty significant because I can't at this point. I can't even see your father. It's all this paperwork.
Wow.
So have fun filling that out.
Make sure you bring 2
All
pens.
right. Well, I appreciate both.
Thank you for calling, Corinne.
Thank you guys.
All right, bye.
I'll mute myself.
Okay. Thanks, because otherwise I'll mute you when I'm not supposed to, or have you unmuted when I'm not supposed to. I muted you. Okay. How you doing, Dave?
Doing well.
All right, you want to keep going?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right, I'm going to unmute caller 804. Hello.
Hey, Dave and Shelby. This is Christy Who.
Hello,
Hi.
Christy Who.
How are y'all tonight?
Doing okay.
Doing
How about yourself?
Oh, I'm tired. I need a good night's sleep, but I think I'll be able to get one tonight.
Well, good. There you go. That's important.
Yeah. My question is, actually, if you can pick up anybody on mediumship, fine. If not, I'm usually a general person as to whatever spirit wants me to know.
Okay, let's see who we're picking up on. And this is the first thing that popped up. I don't know if it means anything, but does the name Alan mean anything to you? Total
Yeah.
shot in the dark. Total shot in the dark. It was like the first thing that popped up, and it came up with a male. Looks semi-decent height, a little bit older, kind of balding a little bit, but still has some hair, mustache, kind of like a farmer outfit type lifestyle. Does that make any sense? I could tell by the nope, it doesn't. So.
Well, I know an Alan that's older than I am, but I'm sitting here going, I know he had last time I saw him gray hair, but I don't know about a mustache. I know he wore glasses, but I think he's on this side. But he might not be.
I don't know. Maybe that's not the person I'm picking up on. So that's just weird that sometimes you just get random things. And of course, I have ADHD when it comes to this. Sometimes I'm just randomly picking up obscure details, like, oh, he's got pens in his pocket, instead of focusing on what I need to be focusing on. So actually, this person stepped aside. So there's somebody, a woman just came forward. Looks fairly young, but I mean, I think still maybe in late 50s. It looks at least like that, late 50s, early 60s. Kind of blonde hair, long blonde hair, kind of short. Molly, maybe. I don't know if that makes any sense, but the name Mal or Molly keeps coming up.
Now, my grandmother's mother name was Molly, but she wasn't blonde.
Well, it's definitely saying blonde, but it could be, maybe that's how she's presenting herself, but she's shorter. Very kind of pale, doesn't seem to have, tan skin or along the lines of being Italian or something like that, like myself. So it seems kind of pale. She's very well dressed, very proper. I'm trying to see if she has a message for you. She's pointing to some sort of jewelry, of course I'm not good with jewelry at all, but it looks like like an oval with spikes around it. Not spikes, but like triangles, kind of like a jewel in the middle of it. Does that make any sense? Maybe you own a piece of her jewelry or something, or your mother did.
And you said, what shape was it?
Kind of like an oval. That makes no sense, but kind of like an egg shape almost. But it seems kind of small. It doesn't seem like it's on a large scale of by any means. Something maybe you would wear as a bracelet, or kind of bigger than that, a little bit bigger than that. But she's pointing to it. It looks like it's kind of gold, like maybe around it's gold, and trying to look at the emerald color that's in there, maybe like greenish.
Okay, you just hit on something there, but not with the gold. I end up losing a friend almost 2 years ago who did jewelry with her husband. And one of the pieces she made special for me was a raw emerald pendant, which would have been, it's more than a tear teardrop shape versus an egg, but it does have that rounded. It is silver versus gold.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing silver now too. But well, obviously you said it, so there it is. But it's funny. Does that description of the woman make any sense to maybe her, or so maybe the name Molly had nothing to do with it? Maybe I was just hearing the name, but definitely that woman stepped forward and is showing this off, almost like it's on like a dresser or a nightstand or something, and she's showing that she knows that you have it out and you show it off type of thing.
I do.
She's very pleased about that and makes her think that she's not forgotten, that people remember her, and she just makes her happy, and it makes her still connected to you, I think. So she's definitely around and happy that you have that out.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I'll wear it. I don't wear it too often, but when I do wear it, I wear it with essentially, she and her husband especially made that piece of jewelry for me. It really makes me feel closer to her when I wear it.
Well, good. That's really nice. Yeah. And of course, I don't know anything about jewelry, so I'm probably giving you the wrong shapes and everything, but it came through as clear as day that she was pointing to it. So it seemed very important and very special to pass on.
Yeah.
Hey, Christy, how are you?
I'm hanging in here. How about yourself?
Doing okay. Do you are your parents on the other side?
Do I have what on the other side?
Are your parents on the other side?
Yes, both of them are.
Okay. Was your father in the military?
Yes.
Okay. Is the month of May, is there a connection with the month of May with your mother?
May was the month my mother and father divorced after 24 years.
Okay. They've come together. So that's the first thing I want to tell you is they're together. And no matter what's happened to them while they were here as personalities, when we move to the other side, I think, especially when we have soul connections, we're able to kind of rekindle things with other souls that are there. So I want you to know that they're there and they're both holding hands with each other. Your father is signifying that he was in the military. I can see he's showing me a flag, and then I also see a picture of him above it. So I don't know if he had a service style when he crossed over, if he had a service style funeral, or if you have a flag or something like that of his from when he was in the military. But he is showing me that. And your mother was talking about May. So did she cross was one of them have something with the lung? It looks like lung issue, some like breathing issue, maybe. What do you call the inflammation in your lungs? Is what it feels like. Because I keep wanting to clear my chest. Does that make a connection with you with either one of them?
Yeah, come and think about it. The last day she was alive, she was doing the nebulizer.
Oh, okay.
For her lungs.
Okay. They're very much in your energy right now, and they've come forward and they're talking about have you been having you said you were have you been having a lot of trouble sleeping? I know you mentioned something. Okay. So they are talking about that, and they're also talking about some self-imprisonment issues, which is usually when I hear spirit talking about stuff like that, it's actually a symbol that I see. And you may have heard me talk about this on air before, but usually I see a person that's blindfolded themselves, and they're sort of standing surrounded by barriers that they're trying to overcome. Which really, and it's all self-made, right? Because it's based in fear, which is usually an expectation of wanting something or needing something to happen. Because this feels very much like a fear of impendingness that's going to happen. So I don't know what's going to happen, and there's fear behind it. So I don't know if you relate to that or not. But I do want you to know that I think things are going to work out, whatever the situation is specifically that they're talking to, and either one of them standing on either side of me right now, and they're really pouring out and pushing out to let you know that that your greatest connection really is within, and that if you just hang on and have faith, that things are going to work out for you. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Thank you. That could be two situations, but I'm thinking one in particular more than the other.
Okay, well, you've definitely got some support on the other side. I think we just pulled 3 people through for you, so you've definitely got spirit standing around you, and when they're around you, they're always whispering and guiding things to us to help us process the things that we need to process and help us to really get through the hardest parts of our lives. So they're also talking about symbolism and the way that they are speaking to you. So I don't know if you've been noticing that or not, but they are communicating with you. So maybe just look for I don't know. I always see different animals or something sometimes then I'm like, oh, I know it's the energy of my whoever. So just kind of keep that in mind, that they are communicating with you, and to look for those signs. And when they're communicating with you, they're letting you know not only that they're there with you to support you, but they're also helping to guide you where you need to go. And I do think that you hear them, at least subconsciously. So that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. The way that I tell most people that have crossed over, and I let them know after they cross over, the best way to get my attention is either their birth date or their day that they passed. The last few days I've been seeing my dad, especially today, my dad's birthday they had here on Earth. And what was really funny today at work, I was looking at 2 different sheets of paper, and one of them was my mother's birthday here on Earth. The other one was the day she transitioned to the other side.
Oh, wow.
I'm going, well, Mom's here.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
And it really is validation, I think, too, with them coming forward as strong as they have come forward, to let you know that that is definitely what you're picking up. So thank you so much for calling, Christy. It was nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you too, Shelby, and you too, Dave.
It was a pleasure, and I hope you keep finding all those signs. That's really nice that they had the dates like that. I thought that was really nice.
I love that. I love it when spirit communicates like that. And I think the more that we really pay attention to it, I don't know about you, Dave, but when you really start noticing the synchronicities and the things that are happening around you, then they'll even communicate even more. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny how they'll leave little things like when I first started trying to do readings, I remember I was complaining to my wife that I felt like my grandmother wasn't connecting to me at all, or I wasn't getting signs. And one day, like the next day after I said that, we ended up going to my parents' house, and for some reason I started looking through old cards that, whether it was from a graduation party or something, just to see if we had any money or gift cards or something in there. And then all of a sudden I found this card that I never saw that my grandmother wrote me, and it was some, huge thing about thank you for doing this for me growing up and how you did this.
I love that. So sweet.
So of course I make a remark, and all of a sudden there's a really nice sign. So
yeah, I love it. Okay, so we're going to take the next caller, 323. Are you there?
I'm here.
How are you doing? Hi, Karen.
Shelby. Hi. I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there. It's so hot here. That's why, it's a struggle. I wilt in hot, humid weather.
Are you from New York by any chance with the area code, or?
No, this is an LA area code.
Oh, that's so funny because ours are kind of like that up here in upstate, and it's been really hot the past few days and humid. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I totally can relate to that, but I guess not now.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot in a lot of places. So I don't have a specific question. I just would like a general perspective?
Sure. So I'm drawing 3 cards for you. And the first one I have is the Angel of the Ocean. And the card says healing. I don't know if the healing applies to this. The picture itself is the woman's like balancing, looks like 2 goblets, trying to, look like she's tossing things around. And I really think it deals with balance, maybe with some career that you're doing in personal. I think you're not devoting enough time, what it looks like, into your passions and into your things that you love and make you happy. I feel like sometimes we get so caught up and think that we're selfish by devoting time to ourselves, but I think this is what the card is saying is, don't hold back. Give yourself your time for your passions, and don't always feel like you have to do this or that for work, or you always have to do what people expect of you. Focus on yourself, focus on your passions. And I feel like coming up, maybe by the end of the year, you're going to hit kind of a crossroads, because that's what the third one says. It's a 2 of Swords, and it has them both kind of sitting there. And I feel like you'll have to make a decision that could affect if you're not having more time for yourself or your family and friends, things that make you happy, whether you do gardening or you do fishing or, anything. So I think really focusing on yourself for the rest of the year, and make sure you do have some of that time that you enjoy doing certain things and don't skip out of it, would be my general reading from there for the rest of the year.
Well, that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Shelby.
Can you say your name one more time for me, please? I just need to get your, I think I was picking up on Dave. Can you say your name one more time for me?
Karen?
Are you starting to do some writing?
I'm starting to think about doing some writing.
Okay.
Started.
Okay. So there's a lot of really beautiful energy, creative energy around you, and it's right at your hands. But I also see my symbol for writing. So I don't know if you're doing some kind of storytelling or creative writing or what you're thinking about doing, but you're holding the energy. So if you can release some of that and start to begin doing some of the projects you're doing, I think that it's going to loosen up some energy in other areas of your life too, because it's real tight around a lot of your energy lines. There's no movement. It feels real thick. It reminds me of Alabama clay. And I think to kind of kick some of that stuff off and to move some of that energy around, you're going to have to start indulging yourself into some more creative energies. I also am hearing a message about you not taking enough time for yourself for fun and relaxing. Not relaxing, but relaxing, having an environment of being able to relax. And then your energy, what your energy is telling me as soon as I say that is I can't relax right now. So I want to tell you, if you want to shake some of that off, to start moving some of that creative energy around. And I really think it's going to dislodge some of the more tight, stagnant lines that are around you. There's nothing surrounding you that's showing me that anything's going to prevent you from being able to kind of shake things up. And I do think that things are going to take a big turn for you later into the fall, or as we get into the fall anyway. I even see you reaching out. You're helping somebody. It feels like recovery or something. I don't know if there's, and I keep hearing the word relapse, so I don't know if you know somebody that is struggling with some kind of addiction or something, but I am picking that up also. So that's what I have for you, Karen.
Well, that's great. That's very encouraging. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And you, okay. All right, Karen. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Shelby.
I'm going to mute you. All right. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Can you guys still hear me in the chat room okay? Okay. I just got a notification that someone lost sound, so I was just checking. All right. We have a couple more, Dave. You good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to take 505 next. Are you there?
Hello?
Hi.
This is Lorraine.
Hi, Lorraine. How are you?
Oh, I'm hanging in.
Ann. It's good to hear your voice. Do you have a question for us tonight?
I don't know. I'm just still muddling along with, worrying about my husband's health and my health. So that's the ongoing questions on my mind all the time.
Well, let's see if we can find anything possibly to draw here. Let's try to get some of my cards. Every time I've been reshuffling them. Of course, being the weird person I am, I heard your name and all I think of is Back to the Future with Lorraine as Marty McFly's mother. So I don't know if it's like that movie. It's always a great movie to watch. I get sucked into it every single time it's on TV.
Yep. Me too.
So the cards I drew, still drawing the last one. I think the first one might apply to you, Lorraine, instead of your husband. It says it's called the King of the Ocean, and he's sitting on this big throne, he's holding the big staff, and he's kind of looking into the distance, and he's just deep in thought. But I think what what I'm getting out of this card is you were saying, you're kind of worrying about your health, you're worrying about his health. I wonder, instead of maybe, not that I'm saying you're sitting there doing nothing about it, but the card just sitting there, maybe take more steps to talk to your health professional, talk to your family, talk to friends about it and whatnot, but kind of look at different factors of what's going on with yourself. And obviously you have some things going on with your husband. I think some of it will take up. Another card I drew, it was reversed, and usually sometimes when they're reversed it doesn't mean anything to me, but I think it does for this because it has the message on it that I'm drawn to, it's the Seven of Swords, and it says loss, but it's reversed, so I'm thinking in more of a gain and kind of a positive side of it. So I think things will be maybe in an uptick. Maybe there's a few other things going on that will be negative for the next few months, but I think overall, I think things will pick up for him. I think things will get positive. The last one I have is the Queen of Cups, and the message is sensitivity on there, and I don't know if that is kind of watching out maybe what you're doing or what you both are doing to improve your health down the line. So maybe he'll go through these battles and these downward spirals, but it's going to pick back up once you're kind of paying attention to things more, possibly if it's a diet related thing or if it's smoking or if it's, I'm just kind of listing off different things, but I think definitely paying attention to what's going on around you and talking to some of the health professionals instead of using maybe the computer or something like that. Just go out and definitely get some answers that you might need.
Yeah, I sort of, it makes sense to me.
Well, good.
Lorraine, are one of you switching positions?
Switching positions?
Positions?
Oh, no, they're just more.
Okay, I see it. And I want to say I may have even touched on this with you previously, but I want to say there's a switch or a change in one of the positions. But also that I think even stronger than that, and I'll kind of go off what Dave was talking about too, because I think that gaining emotional balance is going to be the key to a lot of the healing. You guys are so entangled in each other's energy, and there's so much rigid energy, particularly around one of you that I mean, it's like knocking on a brick wall almost. So, but I think a lot of that has to do with the long process of healing, or some of the things that you're trying to get to take place, and they're not happening as quick as you want to, and nobody wants to accept a situation where they're uncomfortable, hurt physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, even. Nobody wants to have those, especially when you're watching not just yourself go through, but with your partner and somebody that you love. And nobody nobody wants to go through those things, but I think that there is still some walking down this particular path, and it is going to take a while before things start loosening up for you. I feel like Dave does, that I do think things are going to become easier, but I do think it's going to be some time. I think you're going to get some better news coming up. Again, I'm seeing a change in positions, or maybe it's a new or an additional one that you're, like you said, but I feel like that is the one that's going to bring the information to you that you've been waiting to hear for. So be patient with yourself, especially. I see you beating yourself up a lot for not being able to take care of the things that you need to take care of or want to take care of. But you cannot carry the whole world on your shoulders either. And I feel like there's so much responsibility that falls on you, especially. I see you're bent over. It's so heavy. I mean, it's hurting my back even just being in your energy. So be real cautious with that, and understand that if you are not going to be able to fix all this in a day or in a month. So bite off small pieces and just go with what you can. I think I do see a lot of energy work around you. So I'm not sure if you're have been working with somebody, or if you are doing just a lot more energy work, because there's lots of colors around you. There's movement around your back, and it's real close to the skin too, which shows me that it's something that these are recent things that you've been processing and going through. There are changes happening with you physically. I just don't think that you can feel them yet. But I do think that you will. So whatever it is, or whoever you're working with, keep at it, because I think it is making a difference.
I am working with somebody else, but then I was also following your lead with what your suggestions were. I've been working with that as well, with the
etheric tornado. Good deal. Well, don't stop, because it's definitely changed the way you look. You don't even look like the same person that I saw last time we spoke. So keep it up. Keep it up. And it always starts on the way outside of parts of our energy before it starts your energy before, and I knew I could tell by the finger waves that came off of it about your that you're very empathic in that way, but this time it's almost tickling in my energy. So there's a lot more movement happening in your energy than there was before. Sometimes this just takes a long time to clear out. Not even months, but I'm talking about decades worth of things and traumas, energetic traumas that you've been through. It takes a long time to really process out a lot of these things. Shadow work is a big deal. And I think, I don't think a lot of people understand the term, and it's nothing bad. It's just when you're dealing with your own parts of yourself that bind you to things. So doing shadow work and addressing issues from the past and traumas, energetic traumas, forgiveness of yourself is going to be a big deal here, because you're not only scooping up the world around you, you're even there's parts of you that try to hold yourself too, and you got to walk around, and to be able to carry anything, you got to have legs to do this. So it's definitely not something that you're going to be able to rush through, but I do think that things are changing around you for sure.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Well, I'm so glad you called, Lorraine. It was nice to hear your voice.
Oh, well, thanks to Karen, who told me about calling in.
Oh, Shaggy. I like to call Karen Shaggy. Her energy reminds me of shaggy carpet. It does. It does. Okay. Thank you, Lorraine. Have a great night.
Oh, thank you, Shelby. Thank you. And thank you, Dave.
Bye. Whew, her energy is hot, man. I'm like sweating so bad over here. She's got a real, she's something else.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Let's see. 262. Are you there?
Hi, it's Jackie. Hi, Shelby and Dave.
Hi, Jackie.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm just wondering if you're picking up any of my loved ones around me this week.
Any what around you, I'm sorry?
Any loved ones?
Loved ones, sorry. My phone cut out. I'm like, I didn't hear what she said or whatever. I see a woman stepping forward. Looks like maybe she was in her mid-40s. She looks fairly young, kind of on the taller side. Beautiful smile. Maybe put her hair kind of up in the back, possibly. I want to say almost like a mother. Does that make any sense?
No.
No. Well, I see this woman in a big open room, kind of like, looks like she's doing cleaning of some sort, kind of like a maid almost, but not being a maid.
Oh.
I don't know if that.
Maybe, yeah.
She seems fairly young, so she doesn't seem like she's on the older side at all. Maybe even early 50s. Maybe she just looks younger than what she was when she passed. But
Right.
she just seems extremely happy. She's waving at you. She looks like she's almost like a big cafeteria or something. It's just a big open room, big open space where she looks like she's cleaning. I don't know if that made any sense to you at all, but this cleaning is standing out to me, almost like washing things.
Yeah, that would make sense, but she's probably presenting much younger than she was when she died.
Sometimes they'll do that. They want to make themselves look like they were much younger. I don't know if so it definitely wasn't a mother, but maybe a grandmother possibly then.
Yeah, grandmother. She cleaned the schools. Yeah.
It's definitely that. It makes sense because it looks like where I saw her was almost like the cafeteria at my elementary school that I went to. I'm like, why would she be in this room? And this person's probably not from around here, but it definitely makes sense now. So yeah, she seems so happy. She seems like she's been busy, and she seems like she's around you a lot. I keep seeing things like outside almost. Maybe she gives you signs that she's around through flowers or grass or sunshine or something. At some point of the day, you'll see something and think of her, but she lays these things out for you to see.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Jackie. How are you?
I'm good.
Have I read for you before?
No.
Your energy is very familiar.
I've been in the group that you were in, but I never did a reading with you.
Okay. I saw who Dave was talking about, but there's somebody standing next to her of holding a lot of anxiety, a young person. Is there a July connection or an April connection? Okay. Do you know who I'm talking about? I can't get a name. And I feel I'm shaking. From now, did this person? So the grandmother is hugging her. So this happened recently.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there a she has a huge globe orb, white orb sitting right in her third eye. And she's so do I know you? She's saying I know you. Do I know you? I mean, you were you.
I mean, you probably know of me, and you probably know of her. Yeah.
Okay. Don't say anything. Let me just.
I won't.
Did she cross over in her sleep?
Yes. Okay. Well, almost. Yes, but in bed.
So the first thing she's telling me, and she's I'm getting tons of goosebumps also, and she's talking about you experiencing that. Do you experience a full body goosebump?
No.
Okay, she's talking about being close to you, and you're getting a lot of goosebumps, or at least I guess that's how she's trying to communicate through you. She's got her energy is huge. I very rarely see it this way now. And she's very young also when she crossed over. Is that right?
Absolutely, yes.
I think I know who you are now.
Okay.
Okay. I want you to know that she's okay. Okay, that's the first thing I want to tell you.
Yeah.
there's quite a few things, because now I'm identifying who she is. But she is talking about, I guess, for a little bit more validation, she is talking about the sleepiness and with her crossing over. I'm not sure about the sleepiness part of it, but she is talking about, I guess, the crossing over. It was unexpected, totally unexpected, and but there's also a lot of work that she's doing on the other side too. She's highly motivated, and the woman that's standing next to her, the grandmother that's standing next to her, is really embracing her and was waiting for her when she crossed over. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. My mouth also, I don't know if it's medicine or what it was, how she crossed over exactly, but I can taste, it's a really strange taste in my mouth. I'm not sure what that is. There is okay, so I'm gonna get back into it, because I had to pull back a little bit because her energy is so strong. She's I think that there's we all transition in different ways. And I think specifically for some souls that do, especially more advanced, I hate to call it advanced work, because I really feel like all of us are these really incredible multi-dimensional beings on the other side. But I think with her energy and being as large as it is, I feel like she's talking about a purpose or something that she's doing where she is right now. But she's also speaking. I keep seeing a staircase, like she's walking. It's like a wooden staircase, and she's kind of going up and down the staircase, and she's talking about having to go here and go there and go here and go there. But she's also saying, and then she's opening her entire front side up. So talking about her to show me her color, and she's pouring out. Light to, and this is to you, so she'd be standing behind you doing this. Did she have something with her heart also?
Possibly. We're not sure yet. We don't have reason.
Okay, now, and she's saying nobody could have known.
Right.
Are you holding on to some guilt about something in the process of this?
I'm trying not to. I mean, when it first happened, of course, I had to do CPR, so I wondered if it was something I did, but the medical examiner told us that absolutely not. It was nothing that we could have done.
No, absolutely not. And I think that's what she's saying right now, too, is it was completely out of your hands. This was something that was going to happen, just nobody knew about it. There's her energy, part of her energy cells is what I call them. They're very fine. So I can see a lot of the work that she was doing while she was here. And because I now know, because she kept telling me I knew you, and I'm like, I don't know a Jackie. But it makes sense now, and I understand who this was, and I understand who it was. So I understand some of the messages that she's sending about the work, taking even some of the stuff that she had here, and she's talking about did she have social anxiety?
Yes. Okay,
and she's talking about, I don't have to worry about that anymore, Mom. So she's very much, and she's smiling, so she is happy and she is okay, and she's brilliant. She has got a beautiful, gorgeous, and even the grandmother that's on the other side is just like pinching at her. She's so beautiful, she's so beautiful, and they're so now they didn't meet, is that correct?
No, they never met.
Okay, because it's like there's this bond between the two of them that they have, and not just because she's crossed over, but very much because of who was waiting for her when she did cross over, and in the feelings of love and the recognition of who she was. So she's not alone. She's very much still a part of your life, even. And there's no amount of, I don't think I could ever have the words to express to you how awful it is that you're going through what you're going through. So, but I want you to know she's with you and she loves you so much and she's not suffering. She's talking about being confident and she's also pumping her arms up and she says, now I'm strong is what she's saying. So I think that there's parts of her that she had trouble with when she was here living, that she's once crossed over, that she's really been able to embrace those parts and be the true being that she really is. She keeps talking about goosebumps though. And then every time she does, every hair on my body stands up. So take notice. Take notice of that, because I think that's the soul's way of really trying to get your attention and to validate that she's with you. She speaks to you. She's talking about singing songs to you. So I don't know if you can understand that or if it's something on the radio or what it is, but pay attention to music because it's coming through real strong. I mean, even now as she's speaking to me, I can hear her throat lights up. So she is talking to you.
Okay.
And she's beautiful. And Jackie, so are you. And
thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Thank you.
You, Jackie,
Hmm.
you still there? If you want to, in about a month, reach out to me and we'll do a whole reading. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. We got one more, Dave. You okay for it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. 630. Are you there?
Oh, hey, it's Amy. I wasn't expecting, I was listening. Hi, how are you?
Amy. This is my teal friend. I have my teal friend, my mermaid friend. Sorry. That's the
that was
color
so
that
great to hear. That was so great to hear, Jackie. I'm a little verklempt.
Yeah, it was.
It's
It's such a difficult situation to go through, but man, when spirit wants to come through, they really do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we got you on the phone, Amy. Are you sure you don't want to ask a question?
Yeah, I'll take I mean, if you've got there's someone that's been I believe has been in my energy that recently crossed. So if there's anyone that you pick up, not the usual cast of characters. I mean, because Shelby, you know who the usual cast of characters are. But anyway, it's just a weird situation because I wasn't as close with him in life as I've become in death, and it kind of doesn't freak me out. I feel very awkward about. I feel awkward about it, almost like I can't explain the awkwardness, but I feel really awkward about it. I feel like maybe he's giving me messages to give to people, but I would feel very awkward giving these messages to these people almost as if I'm trying to, anyway. I don't want to clog up the air with.
It's funny you mentioned a man. The first person I picked was an older male. He has like this. He looks like he's really well dressed. Kind of like he has this nice big gray coat on. He's standing next to it looks like a dresser or something, holding kind of like a necklace, holding like something like a little charm on it. It looks like a little heart with maybe some charms on it or something, but he's smiling. He's got I don't know if he has glasses actually now that I say that. So I don't know if that refers to a message for somebody else that he's around this person, but he's definitely connected to you. I don't know if it's an uncle or some sort of strong male figure like that in your life. Does that make any sense?
No, it doesn't. That does that right. It's not the person that I was talking about, which is fine, but it's definitely I definitely know who you're speaking of.
Yeah,
That's
he was
good.
The first person coming through. The second that you started talking, I already started to see him pop right up. So he's probably part of the usual cast of characters you were saying, but he's definitely there. He's around you a lot, it seems, and definitely protects you and keeps you safe and keeps you on the right path. I don't know I definitely don't think the necklace refers to you, though. I feel like it refers to maybe a younger.
I think the necklace refers to my daughter. I think the necklace refers to my daughter. I know exactly what necklace you're talking about. It was the with the hearts. It was my daughter and my father used to watch Titanic, like obsessively. But what's incredibly interesting about it is my father really didn't know that much about this whole part of his family, which was the Irish part of the family, which actually it was some of them immigrated in a very, Titanic manner, like the, steerage Titanic. But anyway, my babbling here, my one of like my daughter's last birthday before he died, he bought her this that necklace that's in Titanic. And it's just that now it's just at the time it was like beautiful, but now it's like, what are we supposed to do with this thing? You can't but it was just like the it's just interesting. It used to just be funny that they watched Titanic all the time, but now because I've been doing all this genealogy on my dad's family, and it's kind of like heartbreak. It's kind of heartbreak. Anyway, but yeah, that's the star. This whatever it was called, the Star of the Ocean or whatever.
Star of the Ocean. The only reason I know that too was my grandfather bought it for my sister. She was obsessed with the movie.
Oh my God! So you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
From J. Peterman. From J. Peterman. It was ridiculously expensive for a piece of costume jewelry, but hold on to it forever. And we do miss him. And I do know he's always around. He helps me. He helps me a lot.
Yeah, he seems around.
It's interesting. It's interesting that I recently on this. I don't know, this whole great big thing. But in Labor Day weekend, I met this girl. We actually grew up in the same town, but I didn't know her because she was younger than me at the time, and she was actually the daughter of this man that worked with my dad for many, many years, and they were very, very close. So it's just interesting. It makes me so sad. Sometimes I forget that I can tell them this stuff, that they know, because it's like I've been dying to tell them. I tell my mother, and my mother's kind of a narcissist, so it didn't have enough to do about her, so she wasn't really that interested. And I was just like dying to talk to him and tell him that her and I were going to Denver together to a concert. But I guess he knows.
Right. Well, I don't. I know we're out of time, but I want to kind of quickly tell you that I also hear the name Mark around you. But Amy, I every time, and I saw this last time. There's this teal and white color, and when it does, it rises right up out of your heart into your throat. So, and I've told you, I think before in the like months ago. About the speaking the truth and the things that are coming out to the surface and talking about the things that need to be said. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's also caked with compassion. I say caked because it's real thick around it. It's not just coming out of a place of ego or insanity. It is caked with compassion, and there's so much light around it. And I think that whatever it is that you got to say is going to have to come out. So I do want to say that. And
I know what that is. I do know what that is, and it's interesting because I started going to therapy, and this therapist, she's one of my dead people arranged for this because I don't really like therapy, and so I think it's going to happen pretty soon because she's really helping me find confidence in being like me, instead of kind of being ashamed of being who I am, a little quirky, a little too loud, a little too honest, a little too all those little things. She's helping me package whatever, so that
embracing yourself.
Yeah. That's funny you bring that. It's funny you bring that up, and I know what it is I have to speak because it's huge and it's horrible. And I mean, it's not horrible, it's just huge, and it'll help a lot of people. It will help a lot of people. I know what it is.
Well, Amy, thank you for.
Thanks. I'm glad you popped in. I forgot. I just called in. Yeah, I just was calling in because my speakers at my work phone aren't very good. But that was fabulous, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye, guys. Thanks a million.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we'll wrap it up now. Amy is Dave. She's one of the regulars over on Curious Times. She's she's a incredibly strong energy. So she always, it's hard to disconnect when she's there because it's so, I mean, it saturates you. I love it though. I like energy like that because I feel like those kinds of people. I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like those people carry a lot of not just their energy about them, but carry a lot of events and things that are going to happen. Those are the people that carry those kind of bigger things in their energy. So, okay. If you guys want to get in touch with Dave, you can find Dave. Just look up Psychic Medium Dave Wheeler. You can find him on Facebook. You can find him on Instagram. I think you can find him on Twitter. And he's also doing readings over on Reddit. But connect with him. Get some readings from him. And Dave, I want to thank you so much. I know we went over. Sorry about that. I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight. It was absolutely wonderful to do readings with you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I appreciate you asking. It was the first time I've ever done anything like this on the air, so it was a lot of fun. I loved it.
Well, I would love to have you. I would love to have you back. I think the messages that came through for both of us were incredible. I want to thank everybody that called in tonight to get the readings and everybody in chat that came to support. I want to tell you all that I appreciate you so much. This has just been something that's been a huge passion of mine to be able to get out and to do these readings and have spiritual discussions and things like that. And I always love having people on my show, especially people like Dave, because you always crack me up anyway, but because I feel like you're a genuine, true reader and somebody that, speaks from their heart. So I appreciate you so much for calling, Dave, and I want to thank everybody else. I'm about to end the show. You guys have a fabulous weekend. Go do something fun. Stay out of trouble. And we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.